I'm Parth. I'm a rising senior at Cupertino High School. And before I begin, I would like to extend a warm, cuddly, fuzzy blanket of thanks to everyone that could make it today. I really appreciate it, and it's my pleasure to present to you my main intensive project, which is a 3D printed robotic hand. So a lot of my friends, before I started, they were asking me, Parth, you're building a hand, what are you going to use it for? And I mean, I really didn't have an answer at first, but yeah, I think you got it. But the main reason behind it is basically, I was really interested in robotics. I really liked Osimo, which is Honda's robot, and they had a lot of cool components as well. So I thought, you know, I didn't know much 6 weeks ago, so I found this project and it was really interesting to me. So without further ado, let's fire this up. I have my 5-volt power source for my laptop, and I'm going to plug it in and see what happens. So as you can see here, when I put the glove on, each finger moves corresponding to the movements on my glove. So as you can see here, if I move the thumb, it moves the thumb this way. If I move my fingers, it moves the fingers corresponding. So the way that this works is that there's a bunch of fishing line inside here, and there's 2 fishing line pieces per finger. So there's one piece of fishing line that's in the front of each finger and another piece in the back. So the one in the front basically moves it forward, and the one in the back moves it back up. So as the servo turns, the finger would move correspondingly. Now over here on the glove, what I have is a flex sensor, and a flex sensor is essentially a variable resistor. And what a variable resistor does is it changes its voltage, and that voltage is the input for the Arduino. You could think of an Arduino as a mini computer. It takes in an input, and it uses that input, or you can use that input, to actually do something with it. In this case, when the flex sensor moves, the voltage changes, and that's the input, and you can use the change in voltage to move the servo a certain number of degrees. One of my greatest challenges in making this project would probably be crimp tubes, because crimp tubes, if they're too small, it's very hard to get the fishing line through them. What crimp tubes are little tubes that you can use and to put things through to make loops, and you can squeeze those crimp tubes tight. So basically it seals the fishing line inside it. And since mine were too small, I had to spend hours and hours adjusting them, and I would say, yeah, it was a pain in the rear, but in the end, I got everything working, and after that, it was easy to tighten everything up. So yeah, and looking back in reflection, after my 6 weeks here at BlueStamp, I would definitely say that I wasn't as interested in electrical engineering before, but I realized that I really like circuits and I really like building circuits. From the school that I come from, a lot of my friends in the nerd herd, they like CS, computer science, they like programming things, but I realized that I use programming in this project, I use the Arduino software, but I'm just not as interested in it. I really liked electrical engineering, and from this project I learned that I would probably pursue it. Thank you. I'm open to any questions. Eric.
So completely serious, why not mechanical engineering?
So my dad's a mechanical engineer.
Yeah!
And his life's hard, so I want an easier life. Next question.
So looking at your blog, we have 5 fingers, right? So why you have 4 flex sensors?
Great question. So in here, there was only room for 4. The 3D printed design that came with it could only hold 4. So that's why I only have 4 flex sensors. If any of you guys noticed, one of the fingers actually moves 2 fingers on here. So what I noticed is that when this finger moves, the pinky moves as well. So that's kind of just something that I had to think about. After one finger moves, what is the closest finger that will also usually move with that finger? Chaitanya.
I see 2 fishing line threads coming out of each finger. Why 2?
Yeah, like I said before, so there's 2 fishing line threads going through each finger because one of the fishing line, the finger on the front, or the thread on the front is what pushes it forward, and the other one is the one that pulls it back. Because you can pull it forward, but then once the servo rotates back, there's nothing to pull it back up. So that's what the 2 fishing threads are for. Caitlin.
Would you consider making any modifications to your project?
Oh yeah. So the first one I would definitely make would be making it wireless. I don't know how to do that yet, but I have a couple of days, so I'll definitely see if I can make it wireless and play around with that more. And I think that's one of the main issues. Another modification, not really a full modification, but if you could tell, my fingers weren't moving completely down. So if I could somehow reduce the friction on the fingers to get it moving down completely, I think that would be a good modification to do. Ben?
What do you have to all the people that say electrical engineering is too hard because hardware is hard to troubleshoot?
Suck it up. Yeah?
I have a question. So this is the second robot hand design. So both involves glove.
Yeah.
Regarding the modification, I have a question to you guys, maybe to BlueStamp. Have you guys thought about, without involving the glove, actually get away?
Like with my mind or something like that?
Or not your hand, but your actual hand.
With my actual hand, I don't think I'm smart enough to do that yet, but I definitely would look into that. I think that's really cool.
You should definitely look into that.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Mine would be better.
Really? I challenge you. Any other questions?